Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are going to relieve that heavy, honestly exhausting burden of modern hustle culture. We're diving into a really profound philosophical concept about the ultimate formula for success. Is it hard work, intention, or just a tukka, a complete fluke? We'll be diving deep into a fascinating discussion led by Dr. Vikas Divyakirti that fundamentally challenges exactly how society tells us we're supposed to achieve our goals. Let's kick things off with a question that, honestly, probably haunts every student, entrepreneur, and young professional out there grinding away right now. Do you really have absolute 100% control over your future? Because we are constantly told that if we just push harder, wake up earlier, and completely focus our minds, the world is ours to conquer. But is that the whole truth? Well, the simple and deeply relieving answer to that is just no. Seriously, just sit with that for a second. Instantly, that takes some of that toxic pressure right off your shoulders, doesn't it? We're going to explore exactly why accepting this simple no is actually the most empowering thing you can possibly do for your mind and your career. Section 1, the real secret of success and the 3 paths to our goals. Let's look at the 3 main ways society tells us we can achieve what we want and the intense pressure we place on ourselves to get there. So society basically bombards us with 3 totally conflicting beliefs. First up, there's the law of attraction or intention, the idea that you manifest success just by concentrating your thoughts, kind of like the philosophies of Swami Vivekananda. Second, there's the law of karma. This is the belief that your physical hard work is the prime driver. As you sow, so shall you reap. But then there's a third element. When you actually sit down and listen to highly successful people, a lot of them admit they never actually planned to end up where they are. They just got lucky. It was a coincidence or a fluke. Moving on to part 2, the and mindset and escaping exclusive traps. What's really interesting here is how Dr. Divyakirti completely shifts the paradigm to solve this whole societal conflict. He points out that our modern anxiety doesn't actually come from these concepts themselves, but rather from how we force ourselves to frame them. He draws on the wisdom of the famous Hindi essayist Acharya Ramchandra Shukla to explain this. Dr. Divyakirti says that a massive portion of our mental burden stems from forcing ourselves to choose just one single path. We assume that if it's hard work, it can't be luck. If it's intention, it can't be hard work. But Shukla's insight teaches us to escape this trap of exclusive thinking. Multiple truths can and absolutely do coexist. So we have to replace that stressful, exclusive or mindset with a much more realistic and harmonizing and mindset. I mean, why can't life be driven by your effort, your intention, and your fate? By simply swapping or for and, we realize that intention alone isn't enough, karma alone isn't enough, and coincidence plays an undeniable role in the whole shebang. That brings us to Section 3, the fluke in success and the lottery of birth. Because when we step away from high-level philosophy and look at our day-to-day existence, we run right into the physical reality of our lives. We really have to ground this philosophy in undeniable, everyday coincidences. Think about it. A massive, massive part of your life rests on foundations you literally had nothing to do with. You don't control the family or economic background you're born into. You don't control whether you are born perfectly healthy or with a physical handicap. These are pure coincidences, and they dictate a huge portion of your starting line in the race of life. To put that into perspective, imagine a child born blind. You can't simply tell that child to use their karma or to manifest their way into seeing the world, right? They can try with all their willpower for their entire life, but without a medical miracle, sheer intention has strict limits. Coincidence or fate plays a massive, totally unignorable role. This brings us to part 4, karma and coincidence, a lesson in humility. Now that we've accepted the immense power of coincidences and the realistic limits of our own control, how does this actually change the way we live and work? Now, while we should absolutely put our maximum effort into our intentions and our karma, like we shouldn't just throw our hands up and stop trying, of course, we do have to accept that a final slice of the pie is always completely out of our hands. Life is a mixture, a delicate balance of these elements. It's roughly a third intention, a third karma, and a crucial third is just coincidence. Life isn't made from just one single ingredient. I absolutely love this grounding and mission from Dr. Divyakirti himself. When people walk up to him and ask for the secret formula to his own massive success, he humorously but honestly chalks it up to Tukka, which essentially translates to a fluke or a lucky guess. He points out that so many people in his position try to take all the credit, totally zeroing out the coincidences that worked in their favor.
But acknowledging the fluke is really the only way to stay tethered to reality. Understanding this formula breeds a really deep, profound humility. When we look at someone who has failed, instead of harshly judging them for not working hard enough, we can acknowledge that perhaps their coincidences were just overwhelmingly difficult. Their bad luck prevailed. And conversely, when we succeed, it prevents us from becoming arrogant. We have to remember that our own good coincidences prevailed. We aren't gods. We just got a favorable roll of the dice right alongside our hard work.
So I'll leave you with this provocative thought to reflect on as we wrap up this explainer. If you truly accept that a massive chunk of your life is up to coincidence, how will embracing this balanced, empathetic philosophy transform the way you navigate your own hustle? Will you give yourself a break today? Will you be kinder to someone who is struggling? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep questioning the formulas society hands you.